Thought maybe it was.
Here we go.
Thought it was up on Ashland Street.
No. Nothing to do with Ashland Street.
Okay.
What's up, you cool cats and kittens?
Friday.
Huh?
Friday.
It is Friday. Time to get crazy. Time to get wild.
Let it
Look
loose.
out.
Let
Look
it
out. Let's
loose.
go. Let's go.
Time to go out and get drunk.
It's yes. Paul, stop moving. All right. I mean, Jesus, I gotta.
I'm already going back and forth.
I know you have this much of the screen, right?
Well, we're going to tell you.
You want me to make you smaller so you have more space to just kind of move around?
Oh, boy. I know, Friday night.
You don't have your leisure suit on.
No,
I thought you'd have your leisure suit on.
no, I don't have that anymore. Don't fit.
What do you do with it?
I don't even know where. I think it's gone. Some homeless person
At
is
the flea
probably-
market.
Yeah, some homeless person probably wearing it.
and they choose it only to wear on a Friday night.
It's gone.
Let's. All right, there it goes. It's working. I got to make sure now. For some reason, this system's been a little freaky lately.
Yeah.
Except for last Friday. It was funny.
Shame on us.
I know it. We did all that singing too.
Too
I
bad.
know.
Man.
Nobody got to appreciate that.
I know it.
Jeez, you could be on vinyl right now. You wouldn't even know.
I know.
Wow.
I thought I was going to appear on America's Got Talent.
Mm-hmm.
So a couple of things right off the bat. We have high school basketball, actually girls basketball tomorrow.
Your date was wrong on that too. You had it as Saturday the 24th. Saturday's the 25th.
Oh, they'll figure it out.
Well, hey, listen, I'm just letting you know.
It's tomorrow.
It's only one Saturday in the week.
Jesus. Huh?
It's only one Saturday in the week.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Damn it. Thanks, Paul. Thanks for coming to my aid. I appreciate that. I think it's a first.
Don't count on it too often.
That's my. That's.
Paul's feeling generous tonight. You
I know.
You must have gave him a raise or something. I don't know.
That's my one mulligan for today.
Yeah.
The only raise I got was.
You must have got a raise.
Yeah, I got a
Treating
raise.
the boss with some kindness tonight.
So it's
Yeah.
tomorrow, regardless of what date I put on the graphic. I don't care. It's tomorrow. It's 2:45 in the afternoon. It's a Grizzle Plainfield game. You got it. You got to do those Grizzle Plainfield games. It's always a it's always a barn burner.
Mm.
Grizzle beat them in Plainfield once this year, so so Plainfield's going to want this one bad. Problem is,
They may not get it.
Grizzle's lost 6 out of 7 on the girls' side, and Plainfield's lost 7 in a row.
Oh my God.
So someone's coming out a winner tomorrow. So there's that.
That's good.
Let's see. There's something else. Oh, I think we should send out our condolences.
Yep.
To a woman who I know as somebody that is extremely always a lady.
Mhm.
I mean, a definition of a lady, very elegant at all times.
Yep.
Charlotte Gear.
Yep.
That's
It's a shame.
that is a shame.
Yep. I've only known her for
Years.
eight months or so, and very, very nice woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
Tragic. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If anybody doesn't realize who she is, definitely related to the tree farm.
Oh, absolutely. Well, it's Barbara's daughter.
And
Barbara and David Gear's daughter.
Yeah. Habitry, which is her bed
Heavy
and breakfast.
treat, her bed and breakfast.
And
Yeah.
then she ran that Christmas shop
Mm.
a couple months before, well, a month before Christmas,
Mhm.
out of her house.
I remember when she first started the bed and breakfast, she literally called me up and she said, I really want you to come and take a look.
It was nice.
And she gave me a tour and everything. And it was beautiful. I mean, I've been there a couple times now, but a few times, but it is beautiful. They've been doing weddings there.
Yep.
And she was really building a
It
really
was a real nice place.
beautiful place to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. To hear this trip, this is just very sad.
Yeah.
It's just very sad. So, what are you gonna do?
Mm.
Yep. Just goes to show you never know.
Nope.
Yeah.
You just never know when something's going to happen, and bingo. Here today, going tomorrow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So,
Oh yeah, always very pleasant, good woman.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I wanted to talk about today, and you see more and more of it in the locally or in the media, where kids are staying home and they're not going anywhere and they're not working, or they are working and they're not doing anything about, you know what I mean? They just, it's like there's no urgency to start their life on their own.
They can't afford to.
It's a little different now than it was years ago.
I mean, my first rent was $275 a month. I mean, that was, a lot in comparison to what I made, but now what are rents now? They're probably $1,200-1,300 minimum.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's,
They really
that's
can't.
tough.
A lot of them can't do it alone either. They gotta have a roomie.
Right.
You gotta have a roomie to do it.
Mhm.
Okay, then find a roommate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then it's very doable.
Of course.
You could absolutely do it.
Get a responsible roommate.
That's the hardest part.
Well,
So-
a lot of kids that go to college, they get the benefit of learning to live with a roomie and move out of the house. They've lived with somebody during their 1, 2, 3, 4 years of college. But a lot of kids who don't go to college, going out
Yeah,
on their
they-
own,
they-
it's not easy.
Think they want their privacy, but they can't afford it.
Yeah. They still want to do their partying, but
Well,
can't
not
do it.
all of them.
Not all,
I don't know
but-
even it's so much that. I just think it's like they're just not, even if you take a look at statistics now,
Yeah.
even kids getting their driver's license, they're getting them later and later and later. I knew for myself, I started taking driver's ed before I was 16.
Me too.
I wanted to see, there you go. You wanted to get out there and do your thing.
I was driving on the road when I was 12 with my father.
Hmm.
Today,
I had
my
own
oldest
car when I
granddaughter
was
is
12.
19. She does not have her license. She doesn't have a whole lot of interest in it.
Exactly.
I don't know.
That's my point. What happened?
I don't know.
Granddaughter didn't get it until she was 18. She wasn't interested at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not at all. Of course,
And that again, today, that's an expensive deal too. The car, the insurance, the
Yes.
taxes,
taxes. Yeah.
you want to own a car, you
Yeah.
got to pay.
Yeah.
I just, I guess my curiosity is, what's the difference between the 80s, the 90s, and now? There is, to me, and I'm not saying this with every young person, but it seems like there's absolutely no urgency to get things done. Is there, I mean, we've all had kids grow up and leave,
Yeah.
But what's the difference between then and now? I'm one of those, it's, if there's a will, there's a way kind of thing. If you get one of these, kids that are 19, 20 years old and they're not going to college, or they just want to they're working and stuff like that. I couldn't wait to get an apartment.
Right.
I couldn't wait to get out. So many of my friends were the same way. It's not that I didn't love my parents or didn't want to be around my parents, because I spent a lot of time going there, even to eat,
You can't stay under mom's wing for your whole life. You gotta fly on your own sometime.
Right. What's the difference?
I don't know.
Well,
Don't say money,
No.
because
Where there's a will, there's a way.
yeah, back then, in say 1986, I was making $7.50 an hour. Now, minimum wage in Connecticut, 16 change.
16 something. Yeah.
So even if you're working 40 hours, right? Let's say you're grossing $600
Mhm.
a week after taxes.
350,
350, 400.
375.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
Times 4,
Mhm.
or actually 4.3, because you have 3 5-week months,
Yeah.
4
Yeah.
4 5-week months in a year. So let's just say 4, and let's just say 400 just for argument's sake. That's $1,600 a month.
Yeah, that about covers the rent.
there are efficiencies out there, one
there are,
bedrooms you
yeah.
can get for 800
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Usually includes everything.
If you can find them.
Okay, but they're out there.
They are.
They are absolutely out there.
Yeah. Well, back then, a lot of kids didn't. I never had a vehicle right away. I mean, I had to wait till I got out of school and everything else before I had a vehicle on my own. I didn't have a car payment because I didn't have a car. You know, I think today kids want a car right away.
I got a car when I turned 16.
Mhm.
My grandmother gave me her 1967 Volkswagen Fastback that they had bought brand new. And I turned 16 at the end of 1976. I got my license in the beginning of 1977. So I had a car, free and clear. I think it had like 20,000 miles on it. It was a grandma's car, you know.
Wow.
But you know what? It was free, and the
Mhm.
thing was awesome. You know, today you can't do that. You can't give a kid a car. They're just too much money.
And then half the time you see a lot of these kids that the parents who are pretty well to do,
Mm-hmm.
the kind of cars they give them are fairly new and
Yeah.
fairly fast. And that's the worst thing you can do is give a kid a real brand new fast car because what ends up happening?
Yeah, it's just temptation.
Temptation to speed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Oh yeah, no, it's a different world. I mean, I don't know why, but you know, Mike brought it up, and he's absolutely correct
Yeah.
Who, me? You're saying I'm correct?
on that whole issue. Yeah,
Don't get used
but I
to
don't.
that.
But the problem? What's the problem? What's the issue? I don't know.
Yeah.
I think there's no
Kids get,
urgency.
kids get to stay at home. They don't have to pay the light bill. They don't have to pay the heat bill. They don't have to pay the water bill. They don't have to pay the food bill. You know, I don't know. At what point do you say, "Hey, listen, enough's enough"? You know, you gotta do for yourself.
Yeah. I mean, even kids coming out of college will move back in
Sure.
with mom and pop.
I mean, there's people we never had it happen as kids, but there are people that will charge your kids rent to stay at home. You
Yep.
want to live here, you're going to pay.
Yep.
I mean, me, my brother, my sister. Hey, listen, you had to mow the lawn, you had to do this, you had to do. But you know what? My parents never took a dime from us. But yeah, that's I don't know. Is it cheaper to put $150 a week on the table for your parents rather than move out? Of course it is.
Sure is.
But then you have the ones that are like, I'm not paying you shit.
Then you throw them out. Right?
No, because then you're going to have one parent go, no, we can't do that.
Oh, I know.
We can't do that.
There's the problem.
Yeah. That's unfortunate.
No, I don't think anybody wants to throw anybody out.
No.
No.
But I think at that age,
Yeah.
you want to teach them the responsibility.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Responsibility.
Get ready to go out on your own someday, right? I mean, that's.
Plus to be able to know how to handle money,
Mm,
you know, because if you don't have a lot of it, you have to be responsible that, if there's something you want.
the kids that used to go to NFA years ago, they had the homemaking course and all that stuff. I mean, they taught them how to cook, do laundry, the whole 9 yards. How to write a check out of a checkbook.
Yeah.
Today,
Now, I'm not talking about my own personal house, but I mean, I know others,
Yeah.
which I'm not going to mention, obviously.
Yep.
Just have, you look like you're deep in thought over there.
no, I just
You okay?
you chowing down.
Changing the subject real quick.
No, go ahead.
Kevin Cunningham says the minimum hourly wage is $16.35.
Yeah, it just went up, right?
Mhm.
I think it just went up.
And said, mark the calendar. Mike is correct.
Yeah, one time.
Thank you.
Don't
Mark the date, folks.
get used to it.
I am not used to it. Believe
Don't
me.
get used to it.
That's why I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I'm actually right for once. What do you think, Paul? I mean, must have more to say about that. I mean, like I said, you've had
Different
children.
Time, different time. I'm trying to think that I think once they get out of high school, he was gone. And then my daughter moved out because I had gotten divorced and she was with me for a while. And then, of course, she moved in with her boyfriend. So she was gone at an early age as well. She was gone maybe 20. So both of them were gone early.
Yeah, I left it.
Okay.
I was 19, I think.
I was too.
I was 19. My brother was a little bit older, I think. My sister, she was the older, but she went to college, and it was out of state. So she, lived at home, so to speak, longer than we did, but
Yeah.
only when she was home from school. But yeah, I mean, there was never any pressure to get out.
No.
But
Me
wanted
either.
to. We wanted to.
We wanted to start our life,
Absolutely.
get going,
Mm-hmm.
screw up as much as we could because you knew you still had that safety net, even a little bit.
Yeah, of course.
You know.
Yeah.
I've talked to kids today
Yeah.
about their work life, and it's weird. And I really think it depends on who you're talking to because you're going to depend on who their parents are.
Yeah. Some kids are hustlers.
Right.
And then
Now-
now, some that are not. You know.
My dad was a hard worker. My mother was a hard worker.
Yep.
So I actually started doing stuff at like 12.
I started
Delivering
pumping
papers.
gas at a gas station when I was 15.
Paul, how about you?
45.
45. Yeah.
1945.
I worked at Malorba's farm,
Oh, really?
picking
Picking
potatoes.
berries, yeah.
Picking potatoes.
Really?
50 cents an hour.
Wow.
So what I did was there was a farm on Bitgood, and I would go there, ride my bike from the borough all the way to Bitgood.
Yep.
My mother was convinced that was the year that I was going to lose all my fat because I was biking it out there, and I was picking green beans
Yep.
at 10 cents per pound.
Oh, my God.
Do you know how many freaking green beans you got to pick to make a pound of green beans?
Same thing with potatoes, my good man.
Oh my God.
All I know is those potato fields were freaking
Dirty.
long.
Yeah.
I said, holy shit, when this thing going to end? Yeah.
There was a little neighborhood farmer that lived up the road from us as kids, and he had eggs, he had all the summer vegetables, all that stuff, and he always hired a kid in the neighborhood every year to go out and pick with him in the summer. And my turn came up in the barrel. I went and worked for the guy. You'd be out there at, I don't know, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. You'd work till 10 o'clock, and he'd give you $2. He'd give you a dozen ear of corn and a couple of tomatoes or something like that to take home. That was what you got.
So you said go out and get dirty. Speaking of dirty, say hello to my friend Kim.
Hi, Kim.
She's dirty.
Dirty Kim.
Dirty. The dirty butterfly is her name. The dirtiest of all butterflies. That's Kim.
Poor girl.
Oh, she's a sweetheart. Chili, good morning or good afternoon. Maybe morning where you are. I forget. No, she's in Colorado. Kim is in Florida.
Oh, snow
Mar-
in Florida.
Yeah, Marjorie has a comment. I'm going to read it out to you guys and see what you think about how many kids. Very few and hardly any include or apartments, or I should say.
Mhm.
Very few apartments and hardly any include utilities. Let's be real. In 1981, she goes, she moved out at 19. The rent was only $250. It was a 2-bedroom. I moved out with a friend. The utility bill average was about $60. Now the fees on the utility bill are almost $60.
Oh,
The
yeah.
fees alone
Oh, yeah.
before you use any electricity or gas.
Mhm.
You're right. However, like I said, minimum wage
It's 16 and change. an
is
hour.
16 and change.
Yeah, true.
Which is a lot different than in 1981. When 1981, I was working at Skate Inn, making $4.25 an hour.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, things have changed. But everything else went up at the same time.
I think probably in that time frame, I was probably making around 12 or 13 bucks an hour. Yeah. I left EB, making top pay then was 12.02. And I was there for 10 years before I got that because I started at like $4.42 an hour building submarines, for crying out loud.
Mhm.
But it was enough. I mean, my wife was still in she went to Huntington Institute that used to be in Norwich.
Yeah.
And so she was out of high school, but she was still in school. She was working part-time. Our rent was $275, heat and hot water was included. And I had to pay the electric bill. That wasn't a whole lot, but we had 2 cars. I mean, we made it.
My first apartment was $300 a month. I had a roommate. It was Partyville.
Yeah. Oh,
But
yeah.
still, it got to the point where I'm not ready for this yet. You know what I mean? And you find out that you're not.
Wake up with a headache every morning. Yeah.
And I did go home for a year.
Wow.
I did go home for a year. And I had a different mindset. I was like, okay, now I have to go ahead and figure out what I really need to do to live on my own. I mean, when I made the decision to move out, I was gone in like 2 weeks.
Hmm.
Me and this guy, we got an apartment. That was the end of it. We were adults. We were 19 chronologically, you know.
Yeah.
But you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just think things are so much different today. It's not easy for them to move out. I don't really think it is.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think
I don't think so. I
I
think it's
don't think the parents don't push as hard. I mean, not that they pushed, but you know,
well, those parents are us, and we're the
Yeah.
ones saying that we moved out at 19 and was like, whatever.
yeah, I know. I don't know. The parents today just, I don't know. I don't know what it is, but it's different. They don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, your
Yeah,
parent. My
Chris?
parents never. Hey, listen. When you turn 18, you're out. They never did any of that.
No, I
But
think my grandson
you know,
was
you
24
grew
when
up.
he got out.
You grew up with that. You wanted to get out on your own and make your mark in the
Maybe-
world. You know,
maybe
I
they
mean,
just don't want to get out.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, all right. So you said your grandson was 24, right?
Mhm.
Did he take care of his own shit?
Not when he lived at home.
Hmm.
Mama did his wash. Mama did this. I mean, he paid his own bills. That's different.
Mm.
But I'm talking about the normal domestic stuff,
Like what?
laundry, and
Laundry,
things like
cooking.
He didn't do his own laundry?
That. Didn't do it. Doing it now, where he wasn't doing it then.
My mother always did the laundry. I mean, it wasn't. Well, we weren't 24 years old either. Maybe my sister.
My mother liked doing laundry,
Yeah.
and then she said she would do mine, but she made me learn because
Yeah.
I didn't know
Right.
how to do it.
Yeah.
And then when I learned, I did it myself.
Mhm.
Learned how to iron.
I think my
Whole
mother
thing.
was afraid we'd break our washing machine or something. I don't know.
Would you have a stroke
He-
there, Paul? What?
He,
You make sure that thing on?
no, I'm good.
Are you cold?
No,
Yeah.
it's hot.
It's not
The
that
heat
hot.
gets to me.
That's
No
nice.
air
Not that
moving.
hot. It smells like cinnamon.
That's because I farted.
Oh,
So 24.
Yep.
I think if you're 24, a lot of people, a lot of kids these days are taking up space in the basement.
Yeah.
And they have their own space.
Yeah. Well, granddaughter's still
They
home.
have their own entry and exit.
hmm
No, it doesn't have that. Granddaughter's home. She's
My-
what,
my
20,
bedroom was in
23.
the-
She's still home.
my bedroom was in the basement. The basement door was locked from the inside, so you weren't sneaking in and out.
Yeah, but if you're 23 or 24 and you're still living at home and you don't have any responsibilities, and the only thing all you have to do is eat and shit, or whatever, never do anything, then that's a problem.
Mm.
If you ask me, that's my opinion.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, she,
Sure.
she's never home anyway. So.
Huh?
I mean, she's never home anyway.
Right, but you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you don't have any responsibilities, what are you learning?
Mm.
I would be like, what am I teaching you?
Yep.
It's not my job to be your pal. It's my job is to get you ready to, to be an adult, to move out, and have your own life.
Mhm. I mean, she does her own stuff. Get me wrong. Does her own cooking.
Mm.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, that's
there you
all
go. I'm not talking about your granddaughter.
I know, but
mean,
I'm just saying, she, as an example,
Mhm.
she does do her own stuff, buys her own food when she wants. She doesn't do
It doesn't matter, I think, where you live. If you're still living with your parents,
Yeah.
but if you were living as an entity of your own,
Yeah.
taking care, paying your own car, paying your own
Mhm.
insurance, doing your own food,
Yep.
and just living on, but basically you're, whatever you are sleeping there or whatever.
Yeah, that's the
It's-
difference is that she's got everything included except she doesn't have to pay rent. She doesn't
Right.
pay electric. That's the only other thing. But otherwise,
Everybody's got a different agreement,
Yeah.
in every house. So I don't know. Kim says, once I moved out, I never moved back home, and my rent was $550 a month, and I was working 2 jobs.
My first house was only $600 a month when I finally bought a house, and that was brand new. Imagine that. And she was paying $550
Yeah.
for rent.
Yeah.
My mom and dad, their first mortgage was $388. I remember they would tell me.
Mine
My
was,
parents' house, I remember my mother writing the check. It was like $94.
yeah. Mine was like a couple hundred.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, yeah, it was.
Excuse me, when I lived in Lisbon, yeah, it was like a couple $100.
But, you know,
Paul's going to crash over here. He's just
things were relative. I mean, the cost of living, yeah, you didn't make as much, but, the cost of living, I don't think the cost of living and what you earned then was as far apart as it is today. I think that's a problem.
Yeah, don't forget, new cars were $3,000.
Oh yeah, brand new top of the line cars with $3,000.
Big
Yeah.
grand.
You could still go buy my parents bought a '68 Volkswagen, brand new. I think it was like $1,700.
I bought a new car. My first new car was a Chevy Chevette. Right?
I wouldn't say that.
It got you around, right?
I wouldn't say
It
that
did.
too-
It
I
had
wouldn't say
two-tone
that too
paint,
loud.
man. It was a 4-door.
Put a small block in it, you're good.
It was a rocket ship.
Yeah, rocket ship, all right.
I know the thing was great,
Yeah.
but it had it was brand new. My payments were $162 a month.
You can't
It's all relative.
you can't buy a car that doesn't run for $162 a month today.
I know,
Yeah.
but I also didn't make $4.25 an hour.
True. Yeah, my first job was $1.75 an hour.
Wow.
You see what I mean? I
Yeah.
mean, it's just everything is. I don't know if things are that far apart compared to what they used to
I
be.
don't know. Without doing the math, I'm not sure.
Well, wages, let's say, are 4x.
Price of cars are more than that.
Okay, how about apartments?
Oh my God.
2-bedroom apartment. Okay,
8x. Easy. If you were paying 200, there's 16.
I was paying 300. That's what I said.
Yeah.
My first one,
275.
and that was an 85.
That was in
So even if you go 4x, like the payment, right?
79.
That's $1,200.
Mm.
So even 15. So I mean, you can still find an apartment
Yeah,
for $1,200, $1,300, $1,400.
I don't know what my apartment was because it was 1965.
Back then, they paid you to live there.
I don't know.
Kim goes on to say, and at 23, I had my daughter, and that's when things changed for me, and I was a single mom, and it was hard.
Sure.
Erica says, I don't live at home, but I will live off my mom's food whenever I could or can. She's a way better chef. I'd never tell the kids, if you live out and you want to come home for dinner,
Doors open.
doors open. I mean, just
Yeah, we had that with my mother and father. Yeah. My mother-in-law didn't cook, so there was no going there for dinner. But
So I want to take a quick break, and what I want to talk about when we come back is when is the time that you stop? When is the time you stop going ahead and saying, "Okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that"? At what age, and do you do it solid across the board, or how do you do it? So we'll talk about that in a second, because again, that's another one of those things that's different from house to house, family to family. So be back in a minute right here on the Daily SNSN podcast.
hey,
You buy better,
Better it burns,
much better.
so much better it burns. The right insurance at the right price. You buy better it burns.
You buy better, it burns. You buy better.
The more things change, the more they stay the same. The insurance industry is changing every day, from rates to coverages, what qualifies and what doesn't. What always stays the same, though? The Burns Agency's commitment to quality local customer service at unbeatable prices. Call, email, or visit us at byrnesagency.com. Or, like always, stop by our convenient locations in Norwich and Dayville. The Burns Agency, proudly serving Eastern Connecticut since 1932.
You buy better,
Better it burns,
much better.
so much better it burns. The right insurance at the right price. You buy better it burns.
Is it safe to visit the dentist? In a word, yes, especially if that dentist is Dr. Katzoff and the staff at Griswold Dental Associates. They follow all the latest safety protocols while doing what they do best, taking care of you. From preventive to restorative, your dental care couldn't be in better hands. To schedule your appointment, call Griswold Dental Associates today, 860-376-2626. That's 860-376-2626.
Life is full of choices. At Jewett City Savings Bank, we can make one choice easy, finding the right checking account. We offer a range of affordable accounts to fit your budget and needs, and each gives you the freedom to access your money the way you want, online, through our mobile app, or with your debit card. It's your money and your choice. To learn more about the account that's right for you, stop by one of our offices or visit us at jcsbank.com. Jewett.
All right, welcome back. Before we get started, I do want to ask, hey, Kevin Cunningham, are you still there? If you are still there, text me to let me know if it's okay to hand over your phone number to one of our co-hosts, the guy in the middle, Rich. I'm going to give it to him anyway.
He
So.
needs money.
No, I don't.
He needs
Well,
money.
it'd be okay if you said. It'd be great if you said yes.
He needs
Yeah.
money. Looking for a loan.
No, I just got a couple of questions. That's all.
Dial 1-800 yes now, or what is it? What is that one? Cash now?
Yeah, that or 1-800-EAT-SHIT, right?
Have you ever done that? You ever dialed 1-800 shit?
No. Oh, please tell me. It's Santa Claus, right? It goes to Santa Claus.
No.
Please.
Like, I don't know if it's still.
He's actually done it. He knows. Oh my
He
God.
does. I wonder if he knows those 900 numbers.
I don't know if it's still there. Whoa! That's not it anymore. Come on. It came up. Welcome to the hot spot. It used to be, you'd hear this thing, 1-800-EAT-SHIT.
Wow.
It was funny, actually. But Ooh. My hair is all freaky tonight. All right. So when is it time to say, gotta go now? When do you do that? Do you set a hard limit? Or
There's never going to be a hard limit.
So would you draw the line at, okay, my kid's going to a 4-year college, so you got to ride it out past that, because if they come home, if they're going out of state or something, versus the kid that gets out of high school and decides to be a basement dweller. He's got a job, got a car, all that stuff, but he's a basement dweller. So there's got to be two different things there. I mean, obviously the kid in college is going to be 22 or 23 before you can get to that point. At what point would the other one do it can't be the same.
so my thing was always, okay, if you're going to a 4-year college, we're not charging you rent.
Right.
You can stay there because you're going to school. If you decide to continue on with school, now you're paying.
You're on your own.
Now you're on your own.
Sure.
Because you still have a full-time job or stuff like that. If you're not in school, you're paying. And honestly, it's not about because we're trying to take money from you. It's because you want them to learn that, and get into the habit of paying bills. So the little cherubs they move out.
Let me throw a twist at you before you go any further. You charge your kid rent, doesn't go to college, and the kid's like, "Shit, yeah, man, that's cheaper than living out on the outside on my own. I'll gladly pay you that $150 or $200 or whatever you want." What do you do? And then you say there's still an end game here that at 25 years old you're out anyway. At 25 years old, do you say goodbye, or do you say goodbye and hand him back all his rent money and say, "Here, have a nice start"?
No.
Well, if he paid the money, not knowing he was going to get it back, he paid it and was responsible and paid it. So do you kind of reward him, so to speak, and say, "Listen, you did a great job, dude. Boom, get yourself going"? I've never had that problem, so I don't know.
No. I'll tell you what.
Okay.
Because that does not help anybody. I've talked to other parents about this. And I haven't heard one person say yes. What we did try to do, and it didn't go over well. And of course, I was the
bad guy.
I was the Antichrist.
Sure.
I still am, but we told one of them that we needed an extra $50 a month, and that was going to go towards heat and electric. No. Oh my God. We'd already talked about it. And that $50 was going to go to an account and give it back.
Sure.
You want to do it? But we didn't tell them that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because the idea is that you can't save money. You don't know how to save money. You won't let us help you save money.
Yeah. So we're going to do it the hard way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I told him afterwards. I said, "He goes in." Okay. So no, I still think they got to learn. You don't go to a landlord and they don't give you money back in 2 years as a rebate.
You gotta fight to get your damn deposit back sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, it's the heat.
I asked you if you wanted me to turn that on.
No,
Going through menopause.
Hot flashes, Paul.
the second one.
So, what is the age that you say hard stop? You're out. You're done. Move on. And it's the hardest thing I think a parent could do.
Well, I think it depends on the circumstance.
Okay, such as
Emergency, something happens, needs help.
okay, what kind of emergency?
Be anything.
Well,
Need a lawyer.
no, you get a second frickin' job, pal.
You finish high school, you become a basement dweller. All things considered, you have a job, you have a car. I'm thinking like 22 years old, you're gone.
22. Okay.
Give them 4 years.
Okay.
Get your money together, and this is where you gotta listen. You're free to leave early, but the kid that's in college, listen. By the time they're done, they're 22 or 23. I don't know. What do you give them? A year or so? I mean, you got to give them some time to get a job. Hopefully, with what they went to school for, and hopefully they're making good money and doing their thing. But so yeah, that's why I say there's a difference as far as the ages go. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But a kid that goes to college should get a year
So
or two.
22, 25, 22, right? I mean, you can keep your kid on your insurance so they're what, 25, 26 now?
26.
Okay.
26.
Hey, Tara, how are you? Tara says, I think like you guys talked about the other week, having a trade and a license in a trade is better these days than going to college.
For the right person. I mean, it depends.
For the right person, for multiple reasons, and they will always have a job. Be a plumber, man. You will never be out of work. If kids can get scholarships for sports or academic scholarships for college, then definitely go to college. If not, and they are unable to get scholarships, which is not always their own fault, finding a job and living on your own these days is beyond difficult. I agree moving out is based on circumstance. Okay.
Yeah, any of the trades. I was an electrician.
But based on circumstance, okay, fine. But how long do you give this young adult time to change their circumstance?
Of course.
If they're doing absolutely nothing, then I think it's time to
Have a serious talk.
and move on.
Mm-hmm.
If they're doing absolutely nothing to change, and they're just living their best life, I think I know I'm sounding like a hard ass, but
if you send them
they're
out
not going to learn.
If you send them out into the world and they've got nothing, literally nothing, money, whatever, what kind of person do they become at that point?
You don't want to set them up to fail.
Well, you are.
Yeah. What do you mean?
If they have nothing.
If you send them out to the world?
If you let them live in
little
your house
duckling.
and you don't charge them, and they're pissing their money away, and on it goes, and it's like, hey, listen, time to cut this shit loose. You got to go. You got a month to get out. What are they going to do? They got nothing. How do you become a productive person in society at that point? Hard work. You got to push yourself, but what happens? That could go sideways.
It could, but it's going to depend on their integrity too. Get a second job.
Oh yeah.
How many times? How many times have you had a second job?
Hey,
Shit. I had kids. I had a second job. I worked
I had second jobs too.
I worked full time at EB on second shift.
I
and
kind of do now.
I had a full time daytime job.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of I make cups, and stuff like that on, ship them out for TikTok, and I do the streaming stuff. So it's kind of like I have, I had one kid tell me, I was talking to him at the high school, and he's like, yeah, I'm out of school now, and I'm working 40 hours. I said, yeah, well, how's that working out for you? And they said, well, it's okay, and I gotta pay rent and stuff like that, but but I'm having a little bit of struggle. And I said, struggle for what? I said, you're living at home. I said, he goes, yeah, well, I don't have this. Yeah. And I didn't ask him, it was a young man. And I said, well, why don't you get a second job?
Oh.
He's like, no, I'm already working 40 hours a week. I'm okay. I said, I'm almost 60 and I'm working about 60.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. No urgency. I mentioned that about an hour ago.
True.
Paul, thoughts on that?
well, different times now. I know I worked 2 jobs for a long time.
Sure. I worked 2 full time jobs.
Yeah.
Okay, but what about young men and women that are healthy that refuse to work a second job because there's no urgency to do anything with their lives?
You're interfering with their party time. Yeah.
Or just blowing their money.
Yeah.
There's a lot of kids just out there blowing money.
You do see that where a lot of kids say, why are you spending your money on that?
Because they don't have any responsibilities.
Yeah.
Rachel from northern South Carolina or southern North Carolina says, I paid rent as soon as I started working after college, then helped my family with groceries and other extras.
Sure.
Tara chimes in again. Hello, Tara. If they are doing nothing, tell them to stop milking the cow. Give them a time frame like 6 months.
Yeah.
Jamie, how are you? That's what I was going to say, Tara. Give them a deadline to get their crap together.
Yep.
And then Rachel comes back and says, I worked also during college, but I used the money towards expenses, books, gas. Okay, well, you're paying your shit. That's a different story.
Got to go to Friendly's once a month and get an ice cream, right? Hey, listen, there's nothing wrong with that.
What were you going to say?
No, I don't know. Well,
Did you go to college?
Yeah.
When you were a kid?
No.
No.
I went.
Did you go to college?
No.
Neither did I.
I never had the desire to go to college.
That's why I went to a trade school.
I did that too. I went to trade school, then I went to college.
For what?
Trade school, I was a carpenter.
Okay.
I actually became a journeyman carpenter I went through the whole apprentice program, became a carpenter, and then, I got to that point working in construction where what the hell, man? It's wintertime.
Yeah. Oh, I did it.
Collecting unemployment. I ain't doing that.
I was an electrician. I ended up becoming a contractor. I had a contractor's license. I worked for a couple different people. I worked for a couple different companies. I mean, it got me my last job that I had with the City of Norwich. But yeah, that's what I chose to do.
Well, I had a contractor get me to my job at Northeast Utilities.
I had to put in my time, the apprenticeship, all that crap. Yep.
Yeah, because I was working as just a regular person at Pratt Whitney because I worked at Pratt.
Mm-hmm.
And Pratt had hired contractors to come in and do, the work around Pratt Whitney. And I got to know him pretty good. And apparently he knew a person at Northeast Utilities. So I went for an interview. I was out of work for 1 week. I went right to work. And I worked there 46 years. So there you go. But I went to college. I went to graduate school too. So
like chasing your dream almost,
Yeah.
You got to have something to go after. kids today, I think they're complacent with what they have, not what they could have.
Yeah.
Kim says, I'm in school now, and I got a grant that I use to pay for my books in school. So there's, there are things out there like grants,
Sure.
or scholarships that,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
will help
Well, the
with
good
that.
thing about years ago, and I don't know if they do this now, a lot of companies paid for your college courses.
Yeah.
You gotta go work for them now.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I remember, I think I got like 75% paid. And I paid the other 25% plus the books I had to pay for.
Mhm.
But, you know,
Here-
And the other thing too, the college books, they're expensive.
oh yeah,
When I worked at-
$100,
Sure, a couple $100 a piece.
Yeah.
I mean, when I worked at UConn, they had the the bookstore up there, and kids at the end of the year would go sell their books back to the bookstore,
Yeah.
and the kids the next year could come in and buy a used book for half the price.
I bought used
Yeah,
books.
sure, absolutely.
Let's see. Local Rachel, because like we have South Carolina or North Carolina
yeah,
Rachel, whatever.
Okay.
We have local
Local.
Rachel. Local Rachel.
Okay.
She goes, I don't want mine to leave. That's a whole different problem.
How old are they now?
30.
Oh,
Nah. And then
wait till they're 40.
yeah. Well, Jamie says to Rachel, truth be told, she don't want hers to leave either.
Yeah.
And then Bob, some kids still relish on their parents to support or rely on their parents to support them. I know exactly what Bob's talking about.
Mhm.
I'm not going to say because it would be inappropriate
Yep.
what our relationship is.
Yep.
But Bob, I haven't talked to you about this. I am 155,000,000% on board with what you are saying.
2 times he's right.
I'm actually right behind you on that, Bob.
Yeah.
Rachel went to school as a paramedic. Yeah, who cares, Rachel?
Wow, what a guy.
No. So, she worked as a paramedic. So with shifts and extras and partying, I was never home but 2-3 days a week.
Mm.
Yeah.
Just like we were talking about. Bob says I worked 2 jobs up until I was 40. My dad did too. My dad worked probably to his 50s. He worked for Pepsi Cola, and he also worked at Bacchus.
See, my father
On the
was an
weekends.
auto mechanic, so he worked a second job. It was down in the basement. He worked on a lot of people's cars down there after work, weekends, come up, eat dinner, go back downstairs, and continue working on cars. I mean,
Yeah.
you did what you had to do, right?
Tara says, wait, they'll start having grandbabies for you. And I think you're going to want them to leave then. No. Oh, I mean, the grandbabies? No, I want Benny there all the time. I love Benny. Here's another thing. I'm looking for the right word, or the right way to put this. When do kids stop? When should they stop being reliant on their parents to take care of their stuff?
When they move on.
Yeah, but so if you got the kid that always relies on mom and dad because they didn't get kicked out of the nest,
Right.
they're not going to move out unless you throw them out.
Right.
And are they entitled? Are the kids entitled to certain things no matter what their age is?
No.
Okay.
Were you given anything like that?
Oh, no. When I was 22 years old, my mother cut me off.
Listen,
Cut me off.
I
And it
didn't-
was
I
like,
didn't-
learn to, she said, work out your shit.
Yeah,
That's what she said to me. Now, my mother was still there
of course.
and she was present.
But they weren't
But-
giving you spending money, or they.
Oh,
weren't-
no.
It was none of that, right?
No.
Hey, mom, I'm short on the rent this month. Tough shit. Figure it out.
Right. How about 48?
48.
Yeah.
Oh, hell no. No. Oh, God, no. Wow. My kids aren't even that old yet. And one's got 3 kids and the other one's got 4. No.
Okay. I really am getting a kick, and I really enjoy all of the engagement tonight. So thank you very much, everybody, sharing your opinions.
If you're 48 years old and still living with your parents,
Ooh.
your parents should be relying on you to take care of them at that point for you to still be there.
What about 48 and not living with your parent?
Well,
Oh, well.
there could be a situation that somebody is 48, not living with you, and ran into a real hard time. What are you going to do?
Of course.
Norm? That's different.
He didn't put it out there like
He
that.
didn't put it out like that. I mean, no
Just
matter,
you're 48
no matter
years
how
old. Do you belong living with your parents?
No matter
Based
how
on
old
that?
your
No.
kids are, if something happens,
You're going to be there for them.
you're going to be there, whether it's
Exactly.
Support.
Listen, if they fail and they're
Yeah.
going to crash and burn, you're going to be there for them. But
The one thing I don't do.
But then it's
when does it stop?
Then it's a sit down with a serious conversation that this is how it's going to go. You can stay here for 6 months or whatever.
Yeah.
You're putting your paycheck on the table every week. I'm going to give you X amount for spending. The rest is going to the bank. You ain't touching it. There's going to be a whole different game at that point.
Yeah.
Whole different game.
I've never had that.
No, me either.
That situation.
No.
But, even today, they want advice. I won't give them advice.
No, you got to kind of figure it out.
I kind of like say, well, if this happens, I'll use a roundabout way to explain the possibilities of
Sure.
something could happen.
Sure.
But I would never tell them what to do.
No.
It's not my decision to do that, and I don't do
It's
that.
up to you to succeed or fail, not me.
I think it's okay to help your kids.
Yeah.
I think it's okay, depending on the circumstance.
Of course.
So one of my three asked me for some assistance on something, and I helped them out.
Mhm.
It was very, very important.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that's one thing.
Mhm.
But were they entitled? No, not at all. And they knew that.
Mhm.
But were they thankful? Yes.
Of course. Better be.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Cheryl says, you're not doing the kids any favors if you don't show them how to grow up and be adults.
It's true.
Sometimes you got to say, enough.
Yeah.
That one word, enough.
Yeah. I've been out of it for so long that I forgot what the hell I did. I've been out of it for so long.
Paul, you're just out of it anyway. You're yawning.
He
My
was the
kids-
one kneeling in the
yeah.
manger, for God's sake, with the shepherd's hook in his hand,
My
right?
kid's as old as him.
Yeah.
So,
Actually, he's a year older, isn't he?
so
Tara says, I taught my three kids how to do laundry at age 10 and taught them life skills and how to do simple chores and some cooking, and also told them that Styx, Journey, and REO Speedwagon were the best bands ever. Oh, no, she didn't put that. I just kind of threw that was a writer's embellishment here. I was mowing the lawn at 9 and I was employed at 11 and did babysitting, house cleaning, working at an ice cream shop.
Sure.
So that's the other thing. A lot of kids today don't know how to cook. Because I know my grandson, he's moved in with his girlfriend, and she lived in a family that really never forced her to do anything. Not that she's not responsible, but they were fairly well enough where people would cook for them. And she don't cook. And she's very fussy because she, always had her way.
When I was
He
12,
has to cook.
when I was 12 years old, I was mowing 5 lawns in the neighborhood.
See?
Granted, you only got a couple bucks a piece for them.
Yep.
And at the end of the summer, I could take my money and my father would tell me, well, you can, put it in the bank, or if there's something that you'd like to get. And, one year I got a 10-speed bike. I went and bought it. I bought a, stereo for my bedroom, things like that. But still part of it, even that at that time, it was like, you're putting part of that in the bank. You're not keeping all that money and blowing it. You were held to be responsible, even at 12 years old.
Yeah. The first thing I bought was a radio, a battery operated radio. It was this big, a little tenor on
Had a K part, man, with a turntable.
K part, huh?
With an 8-track player.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah. K part. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I bought that with my own money.
Didn't have a Lizer sound one, with
No,
Harry
no.
Lizer experimental speakers.
No.
Yeah.
HLX.
HLX, right?
Yeah.
Those speakers weren't bad.
No, they were good.
They were pretty good.
K-Part, Norwich.
Yep.
My mother used to
Yeah.
work there.
My mother
Yeah.
did too for a little
Yeah.
bit. I think about 2 days, actually. But
Jamie says our older two boys, 18 and 21, are employed full time. One at EB and the other with Pursuit Construction. They both pay rent for their portion of pay for their portion of the phone bill, their car insurance, and the oldest pays his truck payment. Actually, Jamie, your oldest son was one of the ones I talked to.
Uh-oh.
No, he's a AJ. He's a really good kid.
Oh, okay.
You know, he told me about. I asked him one day about the whole rent thing because I had heard, and he says, "Yeah, I didn't like it at first, but he said then I found out it's cheaper than an apartment." And we had a little talk and stuff like that. But you know, anyway, let's see. And then Kevin wants to know, is Mike going to eat throughout the show?
Kevin hasn't answered him. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Don't answer
Yeah,
him.
Kevin hasn't even answered about the
No,
fact
I
that,
know.
you
I
need
know.
his phone
I
number.
know.
I said I was going to give it to you anyway. It would just be nice to have his blessing.
I know.
No, he did answer me,
Who?
Kevin.
Why would he answer you?
Why? Because I sent him a note. Why did I do something bad?
What's he doing to us? He's like backdooring us.
What
over
a jackwagon you are. I swear to
Jesus
God.
Christ.
I have a connection with Kevin. So why did I do? No, Kevin, you didn't do anything bad. You just we're back on that old grant thing again.
Okay. Well, anyway, local Rachel says, I'm a grown adult and my dad will still insist on giving me money for things. It's his love language. You know what? That's okay. You know, if there's a big difference, huge. All right. Let's say you guys are my parents.
Oh boy,
All right.
Are you the mother or am I the mother?
you can be either one you want.
Okay.
Today,
Not a
doesn't
quote,
make-
not a-
Let's just say you guys are non-binary and a
Yeah,
couple.
yeah,
Okay. So, so, and I come to you guys and we're sitting at the table. I need money. I need money. I gotta, and you look at
Which one are you?
I'm the guy that's broke.
good cop, bad cop, right?
I'm broke.
How much you need?
Okay. All right. That happens.
What do you need it for?
Something very responsible, but I need it now. And whatever, you know. So there's one thing. I'm not looking for an answer.
$1
Actually.
flour?
No,
Oh, okay.
that's you. Or you sit down and you're just having a conversation, and then Rich, you know, of course, you know, will, you know, take me outside, you know, when I'm leaving and said, hey, you know, I see that you're having hard, here's $200 and I want you to be okay. Wait a minute. It's a lot different
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
when your parent just offers it up,
Mm-hmm.
you know, other than someone going, I need money.
True.
You gave him $200.
It's irresponsible.
Where'd you get that money from?
You never know. You never
I
know.
took a cold shoulder for you.
Mm.
Sleep on the couch.
I was a frequent flyer at the fertility clinic. How's
He
that?
called 1-800-CASH now. JG Wentworth. Oh, it's 877-CASH now.
110% interest.
Yes. Yeah.
You gonna pay him back?
Or he's playing solitaire
You paying him
online,
back?
you know, that wins big money.
You
Huh?
paying him back?
No, it was a gift.
Yeah.
I've done that. I've done that for my kids. They're not asking, but I know they're having a little bit of an issue.
Yeah.
You know, here is a gift. And I've done that, you know, or something they need. They didn't.
I got into an accident one time with a truck and it totaled it. I bought another truck and it wasn't a big deal. I mean, I paid for it cash. I mean, my father stepped up, I don't know, a night or two later and was shooting the breeze. He was checking out the truck and, you know, what'd you pay for it? And I told him. He turned around, he whipped out a check and he wrote me a check for it. And it's like, I wasn't asking for nothing.
That's my point.
I
It's
said the truck-
totally different. It's a
truck's
totally
paid- the
different
truck's paid for
situation.
it. I was doing my house over and I really wanted to get rid of that flat picture window that was in the living room. So I went out and I bought a bay window and I had to order it, but I had it ordered.
Yeah.
And the same deal. He shows up one day and he didn't know how much it was, but he hands me a check and it was for $1,000. I'm like, what the hell's that for? He says, well, for your window. I said, I don't want you to pay for my window. He said, it's not that. He says, I want to pay for it. You know, I mean, so, and he did it to my brother and he did it for my sister.
Yeah,
You know, it wasn't just a one-sided affair, but no, it's different. I never went begging for money. I mean, you know, I got one of my kids. I mean, he ran sideways a couple times, and you know, he'd come looking for money. And you know, listen, I mean, I helped him out because it's your kid. You know, I mean, but
No, you're right.
Different story.
Knowing where the money was going, it was like, I just really didn't want to. But one of them involved a vehicle that I gave him the money to buy, and I that car was not going to get auctioned off somewhere. So I mean, I paid to get that car back. But
You're not like that kid.
you know, if I had him for a kid, he better go to his mother. That's all.
Kevin Cunningham says, let's not say that they're a couple. Chuck and Larry. Rachel from Southern North Carolina. He may say that y'all both mothers. And Jamie says, my older are 2 volunteer firefighters with the Jewett City Fire Department, and AJ got his firefighter 1 in EMT since high school.
I've met him. Yeah,
he's a good boy. Yep. They both are.
I know his father a little bit.
Yep. So he's bettering himself and serving the community and not just sitting.
Sure.
On top of his full-time job.
Sure.
So, Jamie, like I said, AJ was one of the kids I talked to. And he was very upfront and frank. Matter of fact, I told Bob about it one night. And he was like, he didn't like the idea of rent. He didn't like it. I guess he rebelled. He didn't, or whatever. But he since learned. And he's like, yeah, it's just part of life. And he said it with a smile. He was very genuine. And that was good because you knew that he understood this is what life is. You know, so, which is good. So, all right, we're going to take one more quick break. We'll be back in a minute and wrap things up here on Streaming News and Sports Network. Don't forget tomorrow, 2:45, girls basketball right here on SNSN. So hold up. Be back in a minute. Strain Family Motors has arrived. They're your local auto super center. Put some excitement in your day and rent a Polaris Slingshot from Strain Family Motors, adjacent to the Green Onion Restaurant on River Road. Check out Strain Family Motors Super Center on Facebook as well as strainfamilymotors.com for everything sales, service, and excitement. River Road, Lisbon, Strain Family Motors, your local auto.
If you're talking, they will hear you.
Why are we getting killed like this?
Kyle's not here. Got caught drinking beer in the park a couple of nights ago.
Really?
Yeah. 0 tolerance. He's out for the season.
Harsh.
Hey, he knew not to drink. We've made that clear to all of our kids, right?
No, not really.
Bill, if we don't tell them what we expect and why they shouldn't drink, how are they going to know?
Talk. They hear you. For more information, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
All right. We also want to thank Bill's Bedding and Furniture Showroom for being incredible sponsors here at SNSN. And make sure you do check out everything that they have up there on North Main Street in Danielson. And they're offering right now no interest, equal payments for 1 year. So, yeah, I mean, a lot of great sporting events coming up. You're going to get this. On my lazy boy from Bill's Bedding and Furniture Showroom because I got kicked out of the bed. Thank God. What a commercial. Hi, I went to Bill's Bedding and Furniture Showroom because I needed something to sleep on. Why? Because the bitch done kicked me out of the bed. Now I have nowhere to go except I got my brand new recliner interest-free for 12 months at Bill's Bedding and Furniture Showroom, North Main Street, Danielson. Now I sleep like a baby.
12 interest-free payments.
A baby. You ain't got one up on me, did you? Actually, I could fall asleep on one of the recliners very easy. All right. Let's see. Let's just wrap things up here for today.
We didn't talk about
let's see.
Pickles.
We didn't talk about pickles.
Yeah, whatever.
We had enough conversation about that.
Yeah. Tara says if my kid plays for the Yankees, I'll let him fix my house or rent me a maid. Yeah. Yankees.
different.
Sorry, Yankees suck. But the Red Sox. That's where it is, baby. Yeah.
Who sat home the last 2 years watching the World Series?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the Yankees didn't do well, but hey,
Yeah.
listen,
Which is funny to me.
yeah, I'm sure it is.
We're going to go ahead. We are big, bad Yankees. We're going to beat everybody. Watch all the home runs we hit. Oh, look, we actually suck. Sorry.
They came and asked you for money.
Yeah. Go talk to Aaron Judge. Let him give you some money.
He did not shine, that's for sure.
Yeah. Kevin Cunningham, you are not wrong, sir. Go Sox! All right. Rich, thank you. You okay?
Huh?
Hemorrhoids moving? Feel like you got a golf ball in your ass? What I mean, those are nasty, man. I'm telling you. All right.
Stop scratching, we know.
Hey, it's Friday night. Anything goes. That's why we do it. Rich, thank you very much.
No problem.
And you two, Ball,
All right.
whatever.
Chalk up one.
Yeah, go kick your kid out or something.
Mm-hmm. Be a little extra in your paycheck this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
$4. All right. Tomorrow we'll be at Grizzle High School. 2:45 we'll be on the air. And it's Grizzled and Plainfield girls game.